basic variation that I was doing yesterday, I mean, the one that I showed you, you already know. It was like that one, going here, from here to the thread.
Yeah.
Then I did this step.
Boom, boom.
Right? That was the kind of the beginning. So yesterday I was thinking maybe other ways. So the first way I did with the level change, not really like it, but might be as an option. So when I come here and jump, I just change the level to the floor rock.
Yeah.
Kind of the same, you know, like continue the same way. But the next variation that I kind of like, and I feel maybe it's going to be better, is this one. You need to practice it, like jump, change the grab, change the grab, boom, bam, boom, bam.
Switch back. Yeah.
Like boom, boom, with the grab. And I think that if to work on this, might be really, really dope.
Yeah. There's so many different variations, right? Like rep, like maybe.
Yeah, like the thread is of course basic, you know, like many people do.
But then
yeah, I think that your stuff is definitely looks different. Like your variation is 100% different.
I agree.
This one, I think I'm gonna be like, so here, boom, jump, boom,
yeah. Switch.
I kind of like that idea of the grab change, kind of, you know, like giving the leg, grab it and change. I think the idea how you go to the back might be really, really interesting. Better than the one that you sent me on the video.
I think so too, yeah. Like my knees a bit sore as well. But when I try and do it properly, like I actually try and do it like from a full handstand freeze, you know, then thread. And yeah, I could boom. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then boom. Something like this.
Try to go how you did before this. You jump, you do this sweep under, but then you went somewhere here.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like just a freestyle step. Boom.
Boom, bam. Yeah, might be also interesting because of the level change, you know, like level change might be cool. For me, honestly, what I realized, the idea of this step of that one,
yeah,
is very hard. Maybe I'm not gonna be able to execute it with the rhythm, you know, fast. It takes too much energy, and my knee is not good in that position. So the one that I came up with the last variation, with the change, might be even more my type of movement, you know, like.
Yeah, and less stress on the body, and then you can kind of snap in and out of it.
Just need to be really, really sharp with every step and without kind of that move, you know, like it's a little bit hard.
Yeah, that's nice. Okay.
Without rushing, because, you know, as I understand, some of the steps and variations, they're simply not gonna work when you rush at all. They need to be slower than others.
So you can find the right connections, you know what I mean? You test it out at a slightly higher intensity.
Even the idea of that they're kind of slower than other stuff that we do doesn't make them not good. They, you know, like you slow down, but you're still executing to the rhythm, to the snares, and you are sharp. You're still sharp. That's the most important, while you're like rushing and doing, you know, like different stuff. If to check it from that side, I like that move. You see, like kind of.
Yeah.
Bro, I have so many different small stuff that people still didn't see.
Yeah.
That's what I'm working right now on.
But it's just footwork. You're only doing footwork, bro.
Yeah, I'm only 6-step. Mostly the 6-step.
But that's the thing, like they say like the devil is in the details, you know?
Of course, no.
It takes time, you know, to kind of engage the mind. Because for me, like, yeah, making sure that every step has a purposeful connection is really important, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want to waste a single step. Sometimes there's a basic, you know, Zulu spin or a sweep just to bridge certain things together, but I don't know, everything has to be purposeful. Just playing around with like, and I've seen you do some similar things like just different wraps, you know, like kind of getting into an awkward position and then threading through, but then keeping these connections together, you know?
And it's really nice when you can do this in freestyle way, you know?
And this is, most of it is freestyle. And then I find ways where I think it tells, like, it expresses something meaningful, and I create like a little small set, you know? But that set is not finalized. Like there's different ways to manipulate it, you know, to restructure it. So yeah, I mean, little things like with your fingertips, you know, something really basic, sweeping through, changing direction, back to the same position.
I play a lot with the stuff like this as well, with actually grabbing inside of the footwork position.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like creating those wraps, you know?
Yeah.
Then like, even if you open up your fingers, you can push through and book, you know, and then like untying a knot, you know?
Like I have some prepared combinations, of course, obviously, like kind of like that one, you know, like.
Yeah. This is dope.
But I also do a lot of just, you know, like when I'm in the movement and doing something, you know, like I just go like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like what is the hardest for me always in that small details is not just to go too deep into them and lose the focus of the rhythm. When you like, you know, like doing and then going too much into creative stuff, freestyle, and then you waking up, you kind of wake up like, fuck, where am I? Where is the rhythm? Where is the snare? So you need to be really accurate, you know, with that balance. Sometimes I feel myself like I'm really doing some stuff, and then the music is separated from me.
Where am I? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It takes time to develop, you know, and that's the way that I see it. I try and like tangle myself and then find ways to kind of unravel, you know, just like, I don't know, something as basic as just like a back row. And then here, sliding through my fingertips.
Yeah.
It's mostly freestyle, to be honest. You know? Yeah, just boom. Yeah.
That's what I also do a lot with the grab, you know, like just stuck into the one grab and I continue to kind of, you know, working with this one.
Yeah.
Just like knee grab, also I think the whole direction that might be really deep. Like all these go downs, you know, is from that stuff.
Yeah.
And they go down like that.
Yeah.
And then I can go somewhere. You know, everything from that game, like playing with the.
Yeah. Or like positioning your elbow on different sides of the knee.
I actually just, you know, like couple weeks ago, I created the small combo with this one. Kinda, the idea is the elbow is stuck to the knee.
Yeah.
So I created like. You know, that stuff.
Your hand is like the signal, you know?
Yeah, it's just like moving.
Yeah.
And the feeling is really nice. I kind of really like the feeling because I can go there from anywhere, you know, like really.
Yeah.
From the top work, from the footwork, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. A little like grab.
It's
Like
it's
the
really
shape.
minimalistic style, bro. It's really minimalistic style. When you like.
Yeah. But I love this stuff, you know? You see the storytelling. Yeah.
Crystal feet, sipping the biscuits, leaves for wicked things. Free jury like Mr. T. I'm a different Candace way. She pull your man away for a man. Yeah, the man ain't proper man. Can't swear the man. Drama ruthless like Aaron Pryor. The scramble by his hammer fire. Vital tip bullets inside the campfires. Pretty toasters, pretty vultures, 60 only shooters like Mickey calling the city broken. Pretty toasters, pretty vultures, 60 only, she keep the city smoking like Mickey broken. It's the fastest way to get the way you want to be. The city broken, I ain't outside, but I can walk the street, it's on the seaside. Oh, show me yours, walk with me, walk the feet. Walk with me, yeah. Remember, don't slip. Like the nose strip, and feed the dope shit. Yeah, who the ghost with? Won't stop shining. You know, when we shine like they trying to leave us in the dark, but won't stop shining. Yeah, we said that, you been doing this shit for a long time. Told time allowed me to. See, you only looking at shit that way, dude, all the time. You ain't see, in that county shit. He like how we live. Look, I don't want to get into that, nephew. So many times I had to come to his rescue. He fucked up a check too. Nothing against you. I just be ready. Trust me, Captain. Ain't no such thing as a dead man walking, just a funky pass. School job. See, we ain't where the cats and gals be. We was there to snatch a crown. He was scared. I had him. Kept it strong for the dead and gone. Lebanon, polices, cold beaches, keep the bags of broke pieces. It's no secret. Money for the whole Christmas. Oh Jesus, pray for the back. They ain't been making amends, and now I'm allowed no beaches. Rose beaches, ain't deliver. As soon as the cats raise the rats play in the litter. The little line can't wait with the fisher. Bitch, please, I don't pay. But around my way, it's big bees. I probably knew I got Swiss cheese pop. That should be coming in.
I like the step over. I don't know how you're doing it, but you kind of like boom. Boom.
Yeah, kind of that step, but with the one hand everything. My idea is like I go to this step and I get up. So when I go to this one, I go up with the grab. And then I continue and I change. The idea goes from that variation I was doing earlier was like going here, open, back.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, you know, like
Yeah.
I was like, maybe I can take this idea that the hand is there and to put it inside that puzzle, that lock position, you know, like lock spider position, and to continue. So it kind of worked. Like, you know, in that style that you do is very important, sharpness. You really need to take care about this. So every that small position of the hand, here, you know, like where you go, it should be so sharp and visible, then this style will be unbeatable. But once you're rushing and you know, hands doing something already really hard to understand the concept. So yeah, you need really to focus on sharpness, and the practicing is different, but in the battle.
100%.
Yeah.
A lot of the ideas that I just experiment with, like it can take months before I'm comfortable enough putting it out there in a competition or whatever, because, you know, the aesthetic isn't quite there, you know?
Yeah.
So a lot of this is just experimentation, you know, testing different concepts. Some of them is a flow, and others, yeah, it's a bit scrappy, you know, a bit dull. Takes time.
Same for me, you know, same for me. Still have so many stuff I'm working on right now.
Get to that point where you take a risk, you know?
Always, you have to take a risk in your life in general, not just in breaking.
No, risk taking is essential to life, I think.
Yeah.
As long as it's balanced, you know, you can't take it too far. Well, you can if you want, but it doesn't always end up.
I mean, you're taking the risk, you need to be ready that that risk might not work. So you need to be prepared for this shit.
On the way, trips stay double. That's what the banker say. We did the same array. Tilt to the side. It's time I can't go late. Coolly high, get sway. $70 $100 unbelievable. True, this clean. All in the family. My nigga selling back ski. This ain't the place if your man screaming. Tell him I'm on fire. Joe dancing. Look like a moose and not a polo dancing. This is dope stamp. Tricks in my sleeve, go get it, go get it. I used to backspin an extra book until my pocket came the backyard. Since books, something called candy stomp with the Frank stomp. Get sick when you hang around crooks. I gotta chill. You used to shoot target, feeling like soprano hands. I tech blow straight off the roof to test your respect. That nigga say God nowhere. Stop. Figures used to shoot targets with the shot. My tech blow straight off the roof to test your respect. With the shot, feeling like soprano hands. With the shot, Milano shit, feeling like soprano hands. Y'all know it? That nigga say y'all know it. Strange approach, I watch niggas hate themselves. They complain they gave him rope and feed, shot my nigga in the nuts cause he ain't something. It's there. Definitely was there. She said, this is the New York Times, so made the daily news on the post that's so on prime. So had their faces painted on murals so you all can shine. Candles underneath the innocence, so never ran into with some hand in the teeth. Deep depression, increase the vessels. So I write the 16s to give them legal tenders. Said I feel it in the air, nigga sequel said it, it be pathetic, it be your own food, just read the heavens. Niggas leave you a vessel, romaine lettuce. My grown page, hella forces, cocaine, tell no sudden train step. It's a wild frontier, Davy Crockett let off a baby rocket, Army and Navy got it. The sense of time, the say nothing crazy shot. They don't wrong, this is whitehead. Catch niggas slacking, don't even give them a
Oh, it's cool. Kind of like did something like this, I don't know, you're using both hands.
That stuff is really what I like. It's kind of one of the new stuff. I did it only once in States at Matador Jam, and it worked really nice. But then I didn't do it anyway. But yeah, it's kind of, I go here, and from here making a turn.
Yeah.
Knee kind of spinning a little bit because I want to people see my legs. So I spin here, and from here I go.
Yeah, that's it. You bring it through.
Yeah.
I had a thread, a really complicated thread, where I have a similar concept of. I'm not sure if I still have it. I haven't practiced it in maybe 6 weeks. Then I grab here and bring it through.
Yeah, I think that all these type of concepts, they pretty much going from this step, pretty much from this one.
Yeah.
So then it's already the question how you can project this step on different levels. You know,
Yeah.
what details you can add. So there can be so many stuff based on this, but the step, the original is just this one. Just this one.
Yeah. Nice.
It's ready.
Niggas been down with real felonies. We get penalties. Let's go. Yeah, that's mama town. Let's go. Well, I know. Yeah, that's mama town. Let's go. Let me know what's Italiano.
Ooh.
Like a military man. Let's go. Yeah, that's mama town. Let's go. Yeah, that's mama town. Let's go. Let me know what's Italiano. We talk more, nigga. That's wow. Mama town. Let's go. Niggas know. Yeah, that's mama town. Let's go. Yeah, that's mama town. Let's go. Let me know what's Italiano. Go, mama.
What I like about this, that like I'm trying to respond to what you're doing, you know, and you have your own method, like we both do. But one thing that I really enjoy when I watch you break is just like how it hits, like in a fight, you know, boom, 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 and then sometimes there's like an uppercut. You know, I have like my flow, you know what I mean, but I can get too deep. Especially like when you're training by yourself a lot, you go really deep into the process, but it helps to have another influence, you know, especially someone that you really respect and appreciate. So like, I'm getting really tired because I'm trying to like make things snap a little, like respond to what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's really dope for me because it's forcing me to move in a way which is probably different from, you know, how I would approach a lot of practice sessions.
Yeah, I understand totally what you're saying, because when you practice by yourself, there's a lot of moments when you kind of letting yourself to chill more and not actually to execute for even close to 80%. You just kind of in a chilling mode, moving. And then when you go to event or to the cipher and you want to, you know, like to accumulate the energy and to hit it, you understand that your body is not prepared for this, because you used to practice absolutely in different way. That's why, because I practice a lot by myself too. That's why I do from time to time simulation of kind of battles, you know. But I battle, of course, by myself, but with the time. I put the timer, 3 rounds, each round 35 seconds, 40, depends what I put on the timer. And when the time is ticking, bro, it stimulates me like crazy. I'm like, okay, fuck, 45 seconds. What can I do? And I see it's already 30 seconds and I did shit. So it kind of, you know, like pushing me to go faster. And then between these rounds, I take a rest the same, 45 seconds.
Yeah.
So it's really nice method to kind of wake yourself up from that chilling mode movement, which is also really dope and nice. I really like it. But in terms, if you want to, you know, like still.
So you need both worlds, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, you know, for me, it's really important to break out of that energy from time to time. I mean, I'm not really battling so much at the moment. I'm taking a bit of a break this year. I'm judging a lot more battles, and you know, I just want to enjoy breaking, especially now. Like I'm 41, and from battling so much the last 3.5 years when I came to Europe, like my body was just getting sick of it, you know?
Yeah.
So many events, I was just doing the same crap. So I want to spend more time creating, but still have that intensity, you know what I mean? Like that killer kind of instinct. Because
so that's why you need to keep it.
You can't lose it. You can't let go of it, you know?
Yeah, because the more you're gonna be in a chill mode, the more your muscles and body gonna used to this. It will be harder and harder to come back to that strength.
If you get called out and
yeah,
get
so
snapped.
yeah, so that's why you kind of still need to wake yourself up and kind of pushing, you know, like to do this stuff. Like I've been practicing 3 days with young guys, with Raptor, Stimul, and Play Rock. This like three monsters from Ukraine. They're young, you know, a lot of energy. But we were practicing 3 days with them, and it was working both ways. They inspired me too. So 3 sessions were like, bro, like 3 events. You know, like everybody were like pushing himself, but at the same moment creating a lot. So it was really dope change. And sometimes I feel that we need it. You know, we need that.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I just like to practice with young kids who are still learning, but they have so much energy because it just gives me a little bit of a boost, you know?
Yeah.
We're all learning, but like they're still kind of beginners, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're so motivated and energetic, and you know, it just gives, I feel like almost like a responsibility to kind of lead with the right kind of energy, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's good. Like the way that I'm moving just by reacting to you is actually, even if I was practicing at a higher intensity, like I'm changing my rhythm a bit. And it's good because then I can incorporate that into my natural rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
Use together over time, and you start to open up different tempos, different ideas. You know, this is why it's so important to have these types of exchanges, I feel.
Yeah, for sure. At least at Zoom. At least at Zoom.
Good enough, you know? Yeah. Like you can make something kind of cool, like, I don't know.
Oh, that stuff I have a lot. I can show you. Like I have things like this. I'm thinking from which side better to show. Yeah, I think from this one. So I go here, freeze, then going.
Yeah.
And then here, check it. Like boom.
Yeah, this is dope.
And in the footwork, I do also this stuff. See?
Yeah.
Also do a lot.
I got the idea from you know, Mike the Cure from Knuckleheads. Those massive jumps on his shoulder, boom, like crazy.
Oh yeah.
He would like use this position a lot. Like he would go from here and flip over, but I don't know. I feel like you could do something pretty cool. One way that I like to use it is just as a basic, just a drop. So like boom, boom,
Nice.
thread, something like that, you know. But this starts, yeah.
The go down really good.
Yeah, there's another one I have, like using this diamond. It's like, oh,
Yeah, nice.
I like that position because you can stab, you know.
Mm-hmm,
Have
mm-hmm.
this shape. I have one more. Where like from my classic here, and then I come through like this, and then here.
Uh-huh. Nice.
All just using that position. When you turn, I feel like here you now have like, I don't know, some kind of opening, like you can go through. Boom.
I have this one like kind of ready stopped. When I go to this go down and turning, and at the same moment going there, like this one.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But sometimes in a freestyle way, I do some really dope, you know, like stuff here, and the hand works really dope.
Yeah,
You know, kind of
like
like
that. Yeah. Yeah. But like these wraps, like wrapping yourself up and then unwrapping, you know, it's really cool. There's one thing, again, I got the inspiration from Mike, my crew. Like, yeah, something like in this position, but then roll out.
uh-huh.
Yeah, it's gonna take some time.
Maybe it shouldn't be directly from your top rock. There should be some go down and then really
I
comfortable.
think so. Because to get into this position, like using my ankle here, and then so
Mm-hmm.
the idea is you tie a knot and then untie it, you know. Yeah.
I just feel like my knees
Enough.
already saying me like, bro, chill. I'm practicing like 1 hour, 1.5. I don't go more, but I practice in that tempo, like kind of a lot of movement, you know. So for me, 1.5 hour of that tempo, bro, you don't need more, honestly. So the difference between like nowadays knowledge and an amount of vocabulary compared to the amount of vocabulary 20 years ago or 18 years ago is not comparable. So that's why that time, of course, I was younger, but I could go 3 hours. But for 3 hours, I did kind of less stuff than I do right now for 1.5.
Practice different transition.
Because right now I do so much different variations compared to that time. So, you know, it kind of depends from which side you compare, you know, like that approach.
Yeah. And also like during that time, you're learning how to chair freeze, to windmill, like this repetition. You know?
Yeah.
And
Now you're just going creating in the moment, recording. You record a lot of your sessions?
I record a lot of ideas.
Yeah, I do. I do the same all the time.
And I record a lot of my freestyling as well,
Yeah.
because I'll come up with something, and if I don't record it, it's gone. Like I'm not going to remember what I study and analyze what I was doing in that moment, and find ways to, as you said, like find those connections which are sharp. Yeah, like competition was never the motivation, you know, it was just it was a push, you know, from time to time, especially like big events, you know, such as whatever. But yeah, like the desire is always just to keep finding new ways to move, and you know how to use my body, especially as I get older, because I don't know, it makes my life interesting, you know, like
Of course.
it's something I'm excited about, you know, like I can't wait to try things out and then take it to an event, you know, take those risks and see how it can be in the moment. Like that's what I love to do. You know?
When you're watching on your breaking and you know that you was taking the risk there and it worked,
yeah,
it makes you feel so happy about
feeling. Yeah.
Even sometimes you can compare, you didn't take the risk and everything was really good, clean, sharp, but inside it was so empty for you. You just like yeah, you know, like I just did 156 times the same shit again and
Your moves, you know.
Yeah. And it doesn't give me anything anymore. But then you take the risk, you break apart pieces in the moment, and you just like, and it worked, and you just like, that was the moment, you know, like that was something I was looking for.
Exactly. Especially like when you're doing well in a big event and you have to do a lot of rounds. Like if I repeat, I feel like I've just smoked myself, you know. It's like, man, like I have more than this, you know. What am I doing? There was a battle that I did last year with Thesis in Switzerland. It was a 7 to smoke, 2-on-2 from the footage that I sent you. And you had to win a 7 to smoke to get to the final battle, and then you did another 3 or 4 rounds. And like at the end of the final, I had nothing left. You know, like a few moves that I like, you know, I mean, of course I had more material, but stuff that I felt like confident doing a final battle, you know. And I just ended up doing like some abstract shapes and different concepts that I practiced like 2 days before the battle, you know, and it worked. It all stuck. And I was like, man, like I was so tired, like, you know, we were done, you know, like our bodies were just finished, and still to bring it out in that moment and to win the event, it was so satisfying. Okay, like I took a risk in that moment when my body was telling me to stop, you know.
Yeah.
That's really satisfying, you know. And to win the event, like that was the bonus, you know. That really inspires me to just keep breaking. And you know, even today, like just getting down with you, like yeah, an hour and a half or so, like it gave me so many ideas, you know. And I was just kind of reacting to what you were doing, you know, like I don't break anything like you, like at all. But there's a few shapes in there. It's okay, like Intact's like really snapping. It's like I need more footwork, you know.
More transitions.
Exactly, more and more and more, and it never ends, you know. So
that's pretty much I think the main concept of my breaking. You know, I was never thinking about that someday I will come with some concept for myself. I was just keep going, right? You know, like 'cause a lot of people sometimes ask, how did you figure out you want to be kind of footwork oriented b-boy? Bro, I don't know. I didn't do this on purpose. It wasn't like I come like, okay, I like 6-step, I want to do this stuff, you know. I just was searching, and then I came up with the concept, not the concepts inside of my vocabulary, but with the concept of movement that really reflecting my feeling, you know, like. And the main concept of that movement is that the footwork is the main transition in everything that we do. And by doing this, you can unlock so many directions. And that's kind of my theory, you know, like my theory of breaking that I can prove. I can prove it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, right. And that's the thing, because I feel like, you know, I have a lot of like, you know, for me, like what I feel like something that defines my approach to the dance is like creating, you know, very specific sequences that are characterized by like shapes, you know what I mean? Like really exaggerating certain like specific shapes. And that's something that I enjoy. And it's the same thing. It's like, how did you start breaking like this. It's like it just came to me naturally, you know, like
Exactly.
I found a way which is like satisfying for me.
Yeah.
And
Of course, you were searching a lot. You were searching a lot. It didn't came like in one moment.
It is, and there's a lot of dancers that inspired me, and I can name, you know, probably 90% of them. It's like all of these guys, like I got ideas from them. It's like I'm not saying that like I created a style of breaking. It's just I found my way of moving, you know.
Yeah. Your concept of movement.
My methodology, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
But like it's unlimited, you know, and I'm watching like your approach, and it's like, okay, there's so much information there that I can, like some of it I can download, you know what I mean? And then like, because transitions are very important to me as well. And I have my own way of creating transitions, usually through like lots of different shapes. But where I know I'm lacking is footwork transitions. Like that's a limitation for me, you know. That's something that I can build into my formula, you know, to open new doors, to then create different and it just goes on and never ends, you know.
No, in your style, it's really important to have good transition because, as you mentioned already, everything is based on shapes and abstract figures, and when you don't have good transitions between these shapes, everything gonna look here, you know, like you're not gonna be
exactly
out of this box. And
you don't see the network.
Yeah. And a lot of your stuff is very minimalistic as well. So that's why you always have to think about making the contrast between this minimalistic stuff. And that's why good transition for you is very important. That's why you're focusing on this as well, you know, like to find a good ways, or other way you're gonna be pretty much stuck, not just only in the box, but in some of the position, you just will not have exit from that position, and it's gonna be the end of your flow and everything. So
it's stuck and it's bumpy, you know.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, and this is again like I started breaking 99, which is around the same time as you, right?
I'm 2000. I started in 2000.
Basically the same generation.
Yeah.
And like the curiosity that I have now, and like it's like a child, children are curious, you know, they want to explore. Like it's the same. Like, you know, of course there are days where I'm like, man, like I hate this, I'm done, you know, I'm so tired. Like what am I doing? You know, it's like when you're married to something, you know, like my wife and I, we have our ups and downs, but we're not going to get a divorce because we have a fight, you know. And sometimes I fight with the dance, you know, but we stick together. So
I think that you know, like people waiting too much for some motivation from somewhere, from outside, you know, like they just sit and wait for this motivation, like, oh, I'm lacking motivation, I don't have it, I'm not inspired, where to take it. But I think that motivation and inspiration is actually inside of the process. I came up with the idea that motivation is something we create by ourselves, self-motivated through the process. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? Like sometimes it's really hard to start the process, or whatever you do is the hardest to start, to make the first step. But once you overstep it and then you get into the process, and if you use smart kind of steps to expand the process, that process start to hit you back with the motivation. You get into the mood of this movement and start to self-motivate yourself. And I feel this a lot when I practice by myself, by alone, you know, like, because without this, without self-motivation and understanding how it works, bro, you will not go to practicing. You will be like, today I'm not going, tomorrow I'm not going, because
and you say today I'm not going, then you'll say the same thing tomorrow and the next and the next.
Exactly. So you need to figure out those methods, those small things that gonna actually hit you and give you that motivation, not from somewhere, you know, like not from somebody telling you anything, but like by yourself.
No, if you need to be told, then you're not going to do it when it's hard, you know?
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this session. It was really motivating for me.
For me as well.
Yeah, bro. So then we keep in touch. I'll send you the recorded version of the.
For sure, brother. All right. Enjoy the rest of your week. Yeah. And maybe
Yeah.
see what's up next week, maybe Wednesday or Thursday again.
Sure.
Okay, brother.
Session with kids.
Take care. Yeah.
Bye.
Hey, JP. Peace.
Bye.